What's up, guys? This is Jimmy. Nice to have you guys. This is another live stream. Let me know if you can hear me and if you can see what I'm seeing. So last week, a lot of things have happened. Bitcoin made that drop 1 billion in liquidations. More than 180,000 people they got liquidated. So to understand what the liquidation is, it's basically getting wrecked really hard, and we had like a big liquidation in 2020, and then this one is probably one of the I think the strongest liquidations we have. So liquidations happen when an exchange closes a leveraged trading position due to a partial or total loss of trader's initial money down or margin. If the trader fails to meet the margin requirements or doesn't have enough funds to keep the trade open. So if you're almost getting liquidated and you add funds to your account, then this will lower the, how do you call it, like the liquidation trigger, which is, by the way, not a good idea. When an asset prices nosedives, the dynamic can kickstart a cascade of liquidations. And this is exactly what happened. But there's also a kind of like a correlation with big liquidations and how the market behaves. So let's check Bitcoin. And again, I want you guys to notify a few things. Let me make this clean. Sorry for the alerts. Maybe I need to delete them, or maybe not. So what you want to recognize is actually a few things. One of the things is Bitcoin is actually still making higher highs, right? High. And this is what we call like actually an uptrend. And some people, they would say the bull market actually was started actually here, and this was the bottom. This could look like really bottom, in my opinion. And this is indeed like we go up, we go down, we go up, we go down, we go up, we go down. We don't consider the wicks, to determine like a higher high or a higher low. But yeah, we are not that far away from this from this low. Personally, what I think is important for the bulls, and this is also being clarified in my Bitcoin report of last Tuesday. Bulls, they need to do everything to prevent price going through this gray box and closing below this gray box. I believe if it's going to close below this gray box, then we could lose our bull market thesis, because we're taking out this low. This resistance level was a pretty strong one. I forgot the number, but it's, how old is this now? 391 days. 391 days. So it tells me something. If price pierces through this gray box, I think we're going to have a problem. The problem I'm seeing is, and with the problem actually mean a problem for people who cannot digest losses. I believe this could be like an opportunity for those who haven't scooped enough Bitcoin or other altcoins. Listen, if Bitcoin goes down, obviously altcoins, most likely many of them will go down as well, especially the dinosaurs coins like Link, Litecoin, Ethereum, many of them, Cardano, many of them. If I see something like this happening and we make a bearish retest here, which would be which could give me like a short trade setup thesis, then I see Bitcoin actually going lower. Not sure if it's going to take out this low, but closing below this gray area would take a lot of confidence again from bulls to recover and to reclaim this. Yes, a swing failure pattern, as in a quick wick through this level, could indeed be the case. I think this already happened on a few other exchanges, like here. And also on, look, what is this? This is there a bit, but there was also Binance futures. At least I know with confidence a lot of a lot of a lot of exchanges we pierced actually through this gray box, and then we went up. But we can easily revisit this low, and if Bitcoin is not able, if the bulls are not able to push it higher, and we close below this gray box, 1 or 2 daily candles, then I don't see. Then I rather be like the part of the bears until bulls show strength. Also, if you draw a trend line like this, like, look, drawing trend lines is always arbitrary, right? There's no well, there's a good way to do it. It needs to have like touching points, but everything in its context, right? So what this is actually displaying is an uptrend, up, 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 and then we broke through this trend line, bounced from this. I wouldn't say now I'm extremely bearish, and this is the case. I think most of the market participants, they are bearish because of recency bias and fear kicked in really hard. I think this is actually a moment to be kind of neutral, and we haven't seen a lot of activity here, right? It's like, we had like a few relative big candles, long wick here. Nothing really is happening here. There's like a super small range. One thing that does concern me, this is the daily. Well, we can use both of them, 200 MA and the EMA. A lot of traders, they use actually 200 MA to determine if something is in a bull or a bear market. Let us zoom. Let us go to a different chart with more history. Where's my bitstamp? Yeah, this one. So what you could see here is why does this only has data till here? Wait, let me go to the other ticker. Need to organize my trading view more. Yeah, let's do otherwise a bit for next here on this chart. Is whenever you see the MA curling up or down, this basically tells you, hey, we are in a up or a bull trend. If you see, especially the MA flattening, it means there is a weakening of the trend. So here you see the flattening actually of the MA, right? What was the primary trend, like the previous trend? It was down, right? It's obvious. This is like an obvious down trend. What is this like flattening MA tells you? It tells you, and this often works like high time frame with 200 MA. It tells you there is a weakness, like the trend where it came from, like the downtrend, is exhausted, and then the MA is like curling up. So this, people like me and many other traders, they determine this. They use this to determine this to determine like a bull market. And in my opinion, it is. But what worries me a lot, well, maybe not a lot, we can still reclaim this, but it's kind of like troublesome. We closed again below this 200 MA. And not with like a normal candle. It's a big, huge daily candle, like it's 7.3% candle. If you count even the wick, it's what is this movement? 14%. That's a big move, right? So what I believe is like we could see like a mean reversion back to the MA. If we get rejected here, we go down. We're gonna take out these lows, I reckon. If we can reclaim this, I see Bitcoin revisiting at least this level, like from this line to this. Let's do this to here. This is for now my thesis. I'm not like really bearish. I'm not really bullish yes, this is like a bullish structure, up, and then the higher highs, up. Also with RSI divergence. Oh, I don't really like the colored RSI. Look, like a trick with RSI, I think like RSI is a really helpful tool, but a lot of people, they don't really know how to use it. Like from CMT, what I've learned, how if you use like any indicator, this is like pure alpha, and I think you should make notes now. If you use any indicator, by the way, guys, I'm kind of like paranoid. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. If you cannot hear me, well, then there's no way to let me that you could receive this message. But let me know also, please, in the comments if you can hear me. Great. Okay, where was I? With RSI, if you're using a MA, a RSI, a MACD, I don't know, Fibonacci, always go back to the one who invented or created that indicator and use it as how he has used it, or make that your baseline how to use that indicator. This is really important. If you just like use the RSI according, I don't know, like a random website or like a profile you have found on Twitter or Facebook or Telegram, that's not the way, because there's so much misinformation. Really, when I started with CMT, Chart Market Technician, which is, I believe, the highest and the most respected thing you can do in the field of like trading, investing, and technical analysis, is always go back how the original creator of that indicator or oscillator or methodology, how he used that. So this is indeed like oversold, right? Deeply oversold. Also on the 4-hour, we haven't seen like the oversold reading as this one. Pretty significant, yes. However, it can stay in this oversold area as long as the market wishes. The way how I use it is when the RSI is able to cross like this 20 level, and then we have like a candle close, because like the RSI is using what? It has a look back period of 14 candles. And it uses like the close, but you can use like everything else, right? You can use like the low, the high, or a combination of them. Most people using the close, I would say, do that. If you want to use like RSI based on the lows or the highs, back test that first before you're going to use that. Is, I believe, or the way how Wallace Wilder, he was actually the OG who invented or created the RSI. If it can pass this like 30 level, and we have like a candle close, and it's a confirmed close above the 30, because sometimes you can see like the RSI, it can curl up, and then when we close bearish, it curls down again. So you need to wait for that candle close if you use like the RSI based on the candle closes. If it passes like the 30 level and it stays there, that would be like an interesting level to enter, especially when Bitcoin or the asset you're trading is not that far away from a major support resistance level. And this, my friends, is a important support resistance level. Why? Because this one is one with an H. It's more than 1 years old, right? It started, well, actually, you could say it started here back in August 2020. So this is like a multi-month SNR level. Closing here is bad. Bounce here could be really good. My thesis is I think Bitcoin probably wants to go for the path of least resistance. And I believe that mean reversion is it's actually the scenario with highest probability. So I want to see how it interacts with the 200 MA. The close above would be really nice. Rejection. I think bulls should be lucky if it re-enters this gray box, but I am afraid if it gets rejected from the 200 MA, we possibly could go a little bit lower or even lower and take out this low. And then on top of that, I'm using Verificator Pro as well. What it's actually telling me is this. Where is this? This is like the momentum indicator. Let me make this a little bit cleaner for you guys. This is curling down, so this is obvious downtrend. This is where Verificator Pro would go from bullish to bearish if it can knock out this this level. So basically, this is why I believe mean reversion is basically the most likely scenario, in my opinion. So this is like a quick update how I see Bitcoin, my game plan. I want you guys to pay a little bit of focus on trading psychology and mindset. Honestly, we all believe that mindset is really important. What's also really important is you need to understand that there is like this 80-20 rule. It's often it's 80% mindset and 20% it comes from like technical skills, real skills, risk management, your edge. And the problem right now is there's a lot of fear now in the market. A lot of people, they are afraid to buy because a lot of people, they got liquidated. What do people do when they normally get liquidated? They don't have funds to trade, and others, they get scared. So there's a lot of indecision, but there's always indecision before decision. And this phase of indecision can take days, can take weeks, can take months. Now the fear and greed index is around 39. Okay, I'm not using this fear and greed index pure in isolation, but it does give like, an understanding. Okay, this is what the market feels based on the fear and greed index. Fear is a real thing. What's happening, you think, when we were like consolidating here really nicely, here as well, and here as well, and then bam, we dropped. What's happening with the brain? Well, a few things. One, people are afraid, and secondly, recency bias kicks in. And I want to address this topic of recency bias with this one. My edge in this market is for me, like reading psychology, like market psychology, but also trading psychology, is not that difficult for me. I can like determine when people are capitulating, when they really feel anxiety, and when they see things out of context. This was basically the bottom of a Bitcoin of this cycle. And here I clearly said that a market bottom is often perceived as bottomless. So bottom is when people think this is like bottomless, it could go down forever. And the recency bias kicks in, meaning because Bitcoin goes down, we tend to believe we give more significance to the most recent event, which is the down event. What's happening? A lot of people, they're too scared to buy. And every time when there's a big dip, here's another one. This was from March 23. Recency bias kicks in. I feel it. I could see in ease, like there was a lot of recency bias. People, when Bitcoin made this, I think at that time it was revisiting the 200 MA, if I was not mistaken. Yeah, you can see it was like a beautiful bounce. It wasn't a hammer. Really nicely. I think it also aligned with a really important Fibonacci level. It was like a 50 retracement. Let me quickly check. Yeah, this was my thesis as well. I know a lot of people within the Discord, they bought Bitcoin, they traded Bitcoin. Asian Crypto Burp did it. I did it. Some other people, they did it. But so many other people, they were too afraid to buy. They ignored actually this move because of this down move. This is recency bias. You see, you give a lot of significance to this down move and you ignore this big up movement. Does this make sense? Do you see this now? This is recency bias. If you understand this, you have a mental, a psychological edge. And it was not only happening here. I can also remember this day as the day of yesterday. This day was in Berlin. I was there with some friends, visiting a crypto conference. I'm saying here, imagine getting trapped by recency bias while Bitcoin is actually printing a higher low. What was happening here? This is like an obvious uptrend, right? And the higher lows were actually really obvious. Like also like the higher highs, also really obvious. What do people do when they are scared? They actually they freeze, they fight, or they fly. They cannot process data in a normal way. And now I want you quickly to pay attention to this one. So, understand you have a conscious mind and subconscious mind. The real boss actually is your subconscious mind. It depends on your age, but after your age of 30 years old, most of the things you do, 90, 80, 85, maybe even 90%, most of the things you do, they happen actually automatically from your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind is storing there your beliefs, your creativity, your the model of the world, your convictions, everything. Your subconscious mind is so important, and a little of the mind is actually really conscious, like the critical thinking, the logical thinking, but also like the biases are happening in the subconscious mind. And to overrule your subconscious mind, you need to have a lot of willpower and a strong mind. You need to understand your own thought process, and this is where people lack. I've coached a lot of people, a lot of traders. Those who made the most out of crypto or trading in general were those who could execute and practice metacognition. It means becoming conscious about your unconscious behavior. This takes time. For this, probably you need to journal. You need to have a mentor. You need to have a coach. You need to have a tribe. You need to have a plan, a written plan. I know a few people on crypto Twitter. They're really making bank. They're really making a lot of money in this space, even though it's a bear market. Why? They have a freaking plan. They know how to execute, when to execute, and when to take a break, when not to trade, when to trade, how to trade, how to anticipate big breakdowns, breakups. They know this. But if you don't have this plan written, you have a handicap. Always start with a plan. Have like a written plan. Write it down. Don't be lazy. This market will not treat you in a good way if you're lazy. Yeah, someone makes a joke about like drinking some alcohol. Well, I'll tell you, drinking alcohol trading is not a good idea. Perhaps like drinking alcohol is not a good idea at all. So again, here now, understand recency bias. What's the recency bias again? Write this down. Let this sink in. I want to say what sinks in the brain, links in the brain. The tendency of traders to, well, not traders specifically, but in this context, the tendency of traders to look at only the most recent events while disregarding older, but equally or maybe even more important events. They disregard like months because of 1 day or 2 days or 1 week of downside price action. Let me give you like a real life example. For example, you are in a relationship with your wife or your girlfriend, or if you're a girl, like with your husband, lady, I mean, with your husband. And then I'm getting, by the way, a lot of alerts. Let's check Bitcoin in a while. Then you had like 4, 5, 6 months of beautiful times, and then 1 week of fights. I will tell you, that 1 week of fights will overwhelm and overshadow that last year of months of having a fun time. This is recency bias. This is also really strong when it's attached to like a negative event. We call it like negativity bias. When we experiencing like a negative event, This negative event has more impact on our brain and our nervous system, the way how we see the world, than a positive event. I'm by the way curious. So what's happening here with Bitcoin? I got some. Where was yeah, yeah. I had some alerts here. I gave Bitcoin, like I called Bitcoin yesterday for a quick scalp in the 1 hour, I think it was. But then it couldn't break down through this one, so I closed it manually at break even. You see what happened here? This is like a strong rejection, a long wick. Let's make this a little bit cleaner. No Verificator Pro for the cleanness. Long wick, big candle. Yeah, interesting. So another, candle close below here wouldn't be good as well. So I reckon like here it could give me like a good bounce. Always set your alerts. So that's trading psychology, ladies and gentlemen. Recency bias. Understand this, but also understand this also. When you're trading, most of the traders, they rather prefer to let their losers open and closing their winning trades. And this, I know, logically thinking, we know it should be the other way around. But people, they don't like to close losing trades. So again, what they do is this: not recency bias, but then confirmation bias kicks in. So what's confirmation bias in this context? It's a tendency to search for or interpret information in such a way that it fits your bias. You will look for that crypto Twitter account that tells you, well, this coin is doing well, so don't sell it. Golden hands only. Or you'll go to the Telegram and find that all these fanboys telling you to not sell and to keep it open, and things won't return. You will find like newspapers or newsletters saying that, okay, this breakdown is temporary, don't sell that shit coin. This is confirmation bias. You will only accept information that fits your thesis, and everything that is actually conflicting with your thesis, you neglect this. So what's happening? You're not honest anymore to yourself. This is what's happening. What's also happening is you're going to deviate from a lot of things. You're going to this, by the way, like NLP communication model. I don't think we have a lot of time to go really deep into this, but I'm happy to do this next time. This actually, for all my coaching strategies and coaches and with my mentees, this is always what we discussed in one way or another way, the NLP communication model. But how, like, we all have like biases, and they always happen, on a really unconscious level. So how can this affect you in your trading? Actually, there are a few things. You exit your trades too early. You let your losing trades open so it can recover, which is not always often not a good idea. You don't have like any exit plan. You deviate from your plan. You're following others on crypto Twitter, holding, you become like a bag holder, holding against your initial will eventually, or irrationally justifying the market, saying like the market is crazy, it's just temporary. You're gonna find excuses. This is again confirmation bias, and it's really easy, to fall for the herd mentality bias. I think I talked a lot. Maybe a few quick charts to talk about. By the way, if you guys have how do you call it, like a chart request, please let me know. Zenkat is saying, look at history, doesn't predict the future, but long-term perspective extremely important for investment. But also bear in mind with long-term perspective, Bitcoin is like relative new. Like with the S&P 500, we could go back many years. Also with the many other like assets. Of course, like with investing, long-term perspective is good, but also keep in mind that Bitcoin is one thing, like crypto, but there are lot of other like shit coins and coins. I mean, how many coins have survived? Where's Coin Market Cap? There are a lot of Dino coins not doing anything anymore. And in some of them, I still believe in them, but others like they are not relevant anymore. And if you would have invested in them, and then, for example, EOS is actually, in my opinion, like a dead coin. Theta, well, I don't know much about it, but it's not doing a lot, and you need a lot of capital. This is the market cap, 626 million. You need to have a lot of money to move this. You need to have a lot of traders being convinced to buy Theta in order it can go up. It needs a lot of hype. And also understand there is also what we call shiny object syndrome. People are really getting distracted. If they see a narrative doing well, they're willing to sell their coins. For example, I don't know, ApeCoin just saying something, or Phantom, or this Bitcoin bullshit thing. People are willing to sell that to jump into the next narrative. So keep that in mind as well when it comes to in investing, especially like long term. Long term, I'm pretty convinced about Bitcoin and Ethereum. But like all these other coins, like take that a little bit like with a grain of salt. My strategy now is to go like through the top 3, 4, 500, and knowing and understanding the coins who are doing well. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but SmartX is doing well. They started actually this year. Then we have, this was like a coin I was holding, which I sold last year. I held it from 2018 or 17 till 2020. I'm glad I sold it, but I'm not expecting a lot from this. It already witnessed and experienced a bull market, the 2 bull markets even. So the more bull markets a coin has witnessed, the less likely they will outperform most of these other altcoins. Here, Aether is also a good example. Maybe again, I'm a little bit biased, but this one started here in March, and it's in a clear uptrend. Again, wait, where is this Sweetcoin? It started actually last year. It was like a step-in kind of thing. No, not performing well, not interested. So that's actually the coins I'm looking for. Like coins launched this year or last year and last year. They keeping, they are building, and then I'm, I don't want to say a pure conviction, but then I'm convinced enough to invest in them. Like ARP is also one of them. I don't like this chart, and I'm wonder why I had a lot of. Oh, wait, no, nothing was hidden. Ah, damn it! I think I need to draw this again. Okay, never mind. So I like the coin ARP. I haven't bought any. I'm willing to buy ARP. Bitron. So this is actually my thesis. Look, ARP is actually in a downtrend. Okay, obviously, this used to be like we could say like this was like deviation, but you could also like bring this gray thing here. But I'm gonna keep it here. Wait, maybe the daily is too much. Yeah, this is maybe even better. So it jumped here, and then it was pushed down. It couldn't like it jumped from from this week to here. Almost both ARP at that time, at that day. But I'm still not convinced. For me, like to really buy ARP, I want to see like reclaiming this. But if I'm lucky, and sometimes I'm lucky, it can go down even further. So this is like recently launched, 2023. People are building on this, and it's not a bad thing, right? ARP. So with the FIPS, how I use it, I use like the recent high and then connect it with the low. You can also do like the other way around, like where's the 0? Where's 1? this, but this is not how I use the Fibonacci's. I'm using it this way. So connecting this high with these two, and then 70 cents. So that's a big drop for ARP. Not so cool if you're like a ARP holder. This is not so nice information, but it's still not that huge, right? 24% drop. Maybe it can even overshoot. It could go to 60 cents or even 40 cents. I don't know, but this is an interesting level for me to buy it back for myself around 70 cents if it breaks down here. Otherwise, as an investment, as a trade, if it can reclaim this gray box, I'm happy to buy it and then set my stop loss around here, and then aiming for this level and this level. So always like have a plan ready. I know I have some other charts I wanted to go through with you guys. Maybe the last one. Which one is the last one? Link. Link doesn't look that good here. Like this is like a big, huge accumulation zone with a deviation here. 470 days. That's a lot of days, man. If you go to the 3-day, look, I don't see like a reversal sign yet. I know strong bullish divergence, nothing. Yeah, it's in the oversold area, but again, it can stay there as long as it wants. I think if Bitcoin breaks this level, this level here, I see Link easily revisiting maybe like this area here. Wait, let me use like the Fibs again. This would be an interesting level to buy Link, but again, it's survived already. How many bull markets? 1 or 2. So really like the upside potential. Yeah, it could be. It could do in the next bull cycle like a 10x or 8x or I don't know 3x. Not sure if it's going to make a new all-time high. It could be, but like for diversification, I'm not like that type of guy that only invests in coins in the top 4, 5, 6, or 800. There's nothing wrong with doing it like as for the next cycle. There's like one last coin is this one. This one is really ugly. Some altcoins is what I mean. This was launched in like 2019. Experienced this bull market, and then it took out recently this low. Like this is like pure depression, right? This is like pure depression. I think it can go even lower. It's in a falling wedge. If the bullish divergence here is really confirmed, it's not confirmed yet. Look, it's like kind of like curling down. Of course, you need to wait for the 3-day close, but not convinced at all. But it's on my watch list. If it goes down and fundamentals are still good, happy to consider that as a long-term back. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening. It's always a pleasure. If you enjoyed this live stream, give it a like. If you didn't, also give it a like. I'm not going to give you a choice. If you have any questions, like drop these questions in the comments or on Twitter or tag me. Happy to walk you through the way how I approach the markets. Also with mindset and trading psychology, if you have any questions, tag me. You can tag me always. I'm not arrogant. I'm going to reply. Again, a massive shout out to you guys, because you guys took the time to listen to me, to become a better version of yourself, and to be prepared for the things that are yet to come. I think you guys are like really in a preparation phase. Let's prepare for the next cycle. Eventually, this downtrend, it will end and things will go up. Also with Bitcoin, it's maybe like ranging now here, maybe on the 1 hour, but that's not representative, of course. Eventually, so it's like the ETFs and okay, some people they would say the halving is like a non-event. I would say maybe that's nonsense. That it is a non-event. Everything is like driven by narratives. I don't make up narratives, but I also don't want to fade away narrative. If the narrative is halving, then I don't have any other choice than take that into how do you call that into consideration. I don't believe it's priced in. It is really important to contemplate on that. Like imagine halving next year, somewhere in March, April, May. I don't know exactly when. Imagine price doesn't move up and it goes even down. What will happen with miners? How will they capitulate? How will this impact the market and so forth and so on? So that's something also you want to be aware of, like to have like multi scenarios for that kind of events. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. Again, give this video a like. I really did my best to educate and to share some of my thought processes with you. If there's any other topic you want me to address, for example, taking profit, about FOMO, about making a plan, journaling, trading mindset, patience, cultivate discipline, why motivation is such a bullshit, let me know, and I'm happy to create content for you guys. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend. Make sure you detach from the screens from time to time because there's way more things than crypto alone. Have a blessed weekend. God bless you and protect you. Bye-bye.